Welcome to the installation video of the CURT double lock gooseneck hitch on the 2012 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 short bed. We estimate this installation to take between 2.5 to 5 hours depending on your level of expertise. Here are the tools that we use to complete the install. If you're attempting to do this install alone, we suggest using an engine hoist, chain falls, or a come-along to lift and hold the center section in place during the installation. For this installation, we use the CURT 60606 installation tool, which is specifically designed for this purpose. Start by removing the spare tire and heat shield. Use a saw to remove a section of the heat shield that will be in front of the back cross member. Remove the heat shield from the back of the cross member located near the front of the wheel well. Next, mark the location for the hole in the truck bed. If your vehicle is a 6.5 foot bed or shorter like we have here, our measurement is 42 7/16 inches from the back of the box. Be sure that you are not measuring from the edge of the tailgate. If you have an 8-foot model, your measurement will be 49.5 inches. Find your center point by measuring the distance between the wheel wells. This will give you the center point to drill the required 4-inch circle. If your truck has a plastic bed liner, you may drill through both. However, a bed liner may make it more difficult to get an accurate measurement. Take all measurements twice to ensure that the hole will be in the correct position. Use a punch to mark your center point and drill an 1/8-inch starter hole. This will reduce the chance of your hole saw wandering when cutting through the bed. When cutting into the bed with the hole saw, be sure to add a cutting grease or lubricant to prevent from damaging the blade. Once completed, you will notice that the hole is 4 to 6 inches in front of the axle. Use a touch-up paint to reduce the probability of rust. Remove all lines from the top of the frame rail on the driver's side to keep from damaging them when inserting the cross arms. Lower the brake lines by unbolting the factory bracket and replace it with the CURT bracket using the supplied 8mm bolts and nuts. Install the rear crossarm by sliding it between the frame and truck bed floor above the passenger side rear tire. After spanning both frames, rotate the crossarm vertically so that the 4 center threaded holes are perpendicular to the ground. On short bed models like this one, the crossarm should be behind the bed rail support towards the rear of the truck. Again from the passenger side, slide the front crossarm across the frame and rotate it vertically so that the holes are towards the ground. Next, we will install the center section. We are using the CURT 60606 installation tool to hold the center section in place. Install the center section by carefully raising it above the fuel tank from beneath the truck. Use the CURT 60606 tool to hold the center section into position. This could also be done using an engine hoist, chain falls, or a come-along. Insert the 4 1/2-inch hex bolts with washer and lock washer through each of the slots on the inside of the center section. Thread them finger tight into the front crossarm. Repeat this process on the opposing side. A thread tap may be necessary to remove excess paint from the threads in the crossarms. Be sure that the hitch cylinder is in place protruding through the hole in the truck bed. Starting on the driver's side, install the side plate with the large hole towards the back of the truck, aligning it with the existing slot in the frame. Attach the side plate by inserting the 3/4-inch bolt and washer. Insert the 2 SP13 spacers between the frame and plate, followed by securing the 3/4-inch bolt with the SP58 spacer and flange nut. Attach the flanges to the crossarms using the 2 1/2-inch hex bolts, washers, and lock washers. Repeat this process on the opposing side. Finish attaching the side plates using the provided U-bolts. Use the smaller U-bolts for short bed applications. Make sure not to damage the vehicle's wiring harness or brake lines. Secure the bolts with the 1/2-inch flange nuts finger tight. Starting from front to rear on the center section, torque the 1/2-inch fasteners to 75 foot-pounds. When torquing down the U-bolts, Alternate sides to ensure that each side is tightened equally to a maximum of 40 foot-pounds. Repeat this process on the opposing side. Then, torque the half-inch fasteners on the side plate flanges, front first, followed by the rear, to 75 foot-pounds. Again, repeat this process on the opposing side. Finally, torque each 3/4 inch bolt to 260 foot-pounds. On to assembling the hitch's components. Using the hitch as a template, drill the 4 pilot holes in the truck bed with an 1/8 inch drill bit. Be sure that each hole is drilled into the lower rib section of the truck bed. Next, use a 1/2 inch drill bit to drill the full-size holes. It's a good idea to use touch-up paint as a rust preventative. Insert the U-bolt safety chain attachments from the inside of the truck bed. Then, attach the springs and nylock nuts onto each leg of the U-bolts. Tighten each nut until flush with the bottom of the bolts. While under the vehicle, insert the locking pin into the ball cylinder with the handle rod hole located on top. Insert the handle rod from your choice of side. Typically the driver's side is preferred. Some vehicles will need a notch cut out of this portion of the bed for the handle. Using the handle as a guide, mark and cut the small section out of the bed so that the handle will be able to move freely. Once the notch is cut, insert the handle rod from outside the vehicle through the hole in the 60615 end plate and through the rod guide as shown. Slide the compression spring between 2 washers over the handle rod before inserting the rod into the locking pin. Now that it's in place, secure the rod with the bolt and nylock nut. To ensure proper pull length of the locking pin, you may need to use additional 3/8 washers. Install the protective U-shaped edging and chrome cylinder ring. Install the rubber handle grip by sliding it over the metal hand rod. Finally, we will finish by adhering the product usage sticker inside the wheel well. Now that everything is installed, let's go over the operation of the CURT double lock gooseneck hitch. To remove the pin and reposition the ball, pull the handle out as far as possible and rotate it clockwise until the locking pin is disengaged and locked out. Insert the ball into the cylinder by aligning the ball groove with the cylinder pin. If the groove and pin are not aligned, simply rotate the ball until it drops in place. Rotate the handle counterclockwise until the locking pin snaps back into position. Before towing, always double check to make sure that the pin passes completely through the ball and cylinder. This completes the installation video of the CURT double lock gooseneck hitch on the 2012 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 short bed. If you need a little more cab clearance, check out the CURT 60602 offset ball. Or quickly adapt your CURT double lock gooseneck to a fifth wheel by using the CURT 16210 X5 adapter plate. For more information on these products, visit curtmfg.com.